Right now, I'm going to introduce to you our head of security here in Antigua. I want you to make some noise and welcome Dr. Errol Cort.
Dr. Cort. Hey. He is the man. He is the man. I see the time is here. Election time is near. People from everywhere telling you how they care. Ask you to vote for them. Promise that your problem is their priority. But wait and you will see. Give them the treasury. Faces full of prickly, wanting to tip money. We'll be bankrupt for sure. We vote in UPP once more. Oi, 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 don't let them come back. Don't you go off track. Them people really slap every Jill and Jack. Let them go right back to the path. Oi, 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 something happening. Dr. Cort is winning. Hey, you know he really cares, and he'll be always there for you and your family. So vote.
Okay. A pleasant good evening to this wonderful gathering down here at York's. Are you enjoying yourself? Are we going to win the elections in 2014? I am hearing all this thing about these polls. All kind of polls. 15 to 2. You believe that? All kind of polls, my brothers and sisters. But as I said the other night, the only poll that you need to be concerned with is election day poll. That is the only poll that is going to count in this country, my brothers and sisters. And from the gathering here this evening, I am fortified in the view that come election day, the United Progressive Party will return to office for a third term. But I want to say to all of you here this evening that we should not take anything for granted. We should not sit back and be complacent. We need to go there in the byways and highways, in the alleyways, and touch base with every household, every person out there, and ensure that we preach the United Progressive Party message to guarantee a third term of governance in this country, my brothers and sisters. I say to you tonight that over there in the constituency of St. John's Wood East, we will regain that constituency for the United Progressive Party. Unfortunately, we have had over the last 5 years a representative who is missing in action. No one could see him. No one could find him. You walk every street in the constituency and he's nowhere to be found. When the people of Wood East reach out for help, there is no representative there to help them. And yours truly has remained the de facto representative in the constituency of St. John's Wood East over the last 5 years. So all of the constituents who have been yearning for representation, they have come to yours truly as the caretaker. And that is why since 2009, we have served over 12,000 hot meals to the needy in that community. This is why we continue with our Hope Institute and our Project Hope, bringing help to people in the area who need help. This is why we continue to work with the youth in the area, providing them with classes, providing them with remedial reading. This is why we continue to work with the parents, where we have our parental guidance classes, and we continue to do all the wonderful things with the elderly. This is why we continue to work on the infrastructure development in St. John's Release. And all those of you who have cried out for help in terms of street lights, we have started the program. Some of you would have received, others will receive. We continue to deliver in that constituency of St. John's Release. That is why I stand here this evening and I feel confident looking out into the crowd and seeing all of you from Release that you will put me back there come 2014 elections. My brothers and sisters, we have a lot to be proud of. Your government has done a wonderful job over the last 10 years of governance in this country. There are many out there who would want you to forget the state of the economy of Antigua and Barbuda prior to March 2004. There are those who would wish that you forget that the Antigua Labour Party government was unable to meet their wages and salaries and other critical expenditure before 2004. There are those who would wish you to forget that when we took office in March of 2004, we met a dry and empty treasury. There are those who would wish you to forget that it was this administration who was called upon to rebuild the economy of Antigua and Barbuda. And we started that road in 2004. It was not easy. You must remember, in 2002, it was the Antigua Labour Party that was pledging to lay off some 3,000 public servants because they were unable to meet wages and salaries in this country. So that is what we inherited when we went into government in 2004. But we were able to manage. And if you remember, back in 2004, it was the party who said the UPP can't last more than 6 months in office. Why did they say that? They said that because they knew what they left for us and they couldn't manage. So by conclusion, they decided we couldn't manage taking over in 2004. But we defied that. And when we went past 6 months, they came again and they said they can't last more than 1 year. After 1 year, definitely the government will collapse. But your UPP government didn't collapse. We built on what we found. We built that foundation for a fresh start. And we gave the people of this country what they deserve. But it took time. It took hard work. It took a lot of effort to restructure the economy, to restructure the taxation system in this country, and to bring in serious fiscal discipline. We are proud to say to all of you that over that period from 2004 to present, not 1 cent was borrowed by the government from any statutory corporation in this country. We feel proud of that. And why we're proud is because the Antigua Labour Party government raided every single statutory corporation in this country in an effort to stay alive, in an effort to keep things going. And notwithstanding raiding every corporation in this country, they couldn't make it. You heard from Brother Colin Derrick, they raided the Social Security scheme. When we took over, the indebtedness to the Social Security scheme was over $500 million. They raided the medical benefit scheme, another $300 million. They raided the Board of Education, millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. They raided the free trade zone. Again, millions and millions of dollars. They raided State Insurance Corporation. Millions and millions of dollars. They raided APOA. They raided the Port Authority. And when they couldn't raid anymore, the country was at the brink of collapse. And that is where we came, my brothers and sisters. Having rescued this country and this economy, I say to you that there's still a lot more work to be done, and we will continue the job if given the third term in office. There's still a lot more good things to be done, my brothers and sisters. I want to remind you that prior to 2004, the Antigua Labour Party government went out there and borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and did not repay 1 cent. Not 1 cent. Let us not forget these things, my brothers and sisters. Let us not be fooled by short-term promises which are hollow. Let us not be fooled by those who say they're going to abolish personal income tax. Fooling you, thinking that you're going to be able to put more monies in your pocket. They could not make wages and salaries. How are they going to now come and abolish personal income tax, which is working for you, the people of this country, making sure that all of those social programs that we would have embarked upon continue, notwithstanding the great recession that we have ever seen since the Great Depression of the 1920s. My brothers and sisters, in economic terms, when you measure the indebtedness of a country, you look at the debt to GDP ratio. When we took over in 2004, the debt to GDP ratio in this country was approximately 140%. My brothers and sisters, today the debt to GDP ratio has fallen to approximately 89% under the United Progressive Party government. That speaks volumes, and that is why we can stand tall in the international community and feel proud, because we are now respected regionally and internationally because of the work that this government has done. And by extension, my brothers and sisters, it means that you, Antiguans and Barbudans, can walk anywhere in the world and feel proud, not feeling rejected, not feeling stained, not feeling in any way diminished because of actions of your government or inactions. We have brought back pride in this country, and by extension, we have brought pride to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Let us continue. Let us continue to work, my brothers and sisters. Let us ensure that come 2014 elections, we are put back there to continue the wonderful job that we have been doing. I must, this evening, once again touch on that vexing issue of crime in this country. We have seen an escalation in serious crime in this country, gun-related criminal activity. And I cannot believe that nobody in this park, nobody in the wider environs has any idea who is committing these serious crimes in this country. I can't believe that you could have masked gunmen going into a popular business place on Old Palm Road and holding the people up there, taking their valuables, and we don't know who those individuals are. Nobody knows. Nobody in here has a clue. I can't believe that, my brothers and sisters. And we have an obligation to bring an end to that type of violent behavior. And if we don't, unfortunately, tomorrow or tonight, it might be one of us. So I use this occasion to make another plea to each and every one of you. If you see something, say something. If you know something, come forward and share that information with law enforcement. We got to get these criminals off the streets, and we are dependent on you, the members of various communities, to work with law enforcement, to help us, to help you, to keep violent crime at its minimum. So my brothers and sisters, if you have any information, anything you wish to say in respect of any criminal activity, come forward, share that information with the police. If you don't feel comfortable for whatever reason, share it with somebody in authority. That person will pass on the information. Go to your pastor, go to your headmaster or headmistress, go to somebody. The most important thing, my brothers and sisters, is that we need your help. We need you to be loyal and true citizens of this country so that we can bring an end to this rampage in terms of serious criminal activity in this country. I said the other night, and I repeat here this evening, that the government is offering a reward for any information leading to the successful apprehension and prosecution of anybody who has been involved in committing any murder in this country. We're going further, and we're saying that we're going to give a reward of $50,000 to anybody who brings forth any information that leads to the successful conviction of anybody involved in any gun-related criminal activity in this country in terms of holding up places. It is unfortunate that we have to reach a stage where we have to offer people money to give information. But if it takes $50,000 or more, this government is serious to bring this thing to an end. So if you have the information, you come forward and let us know so that we can go out and apprehend those criminals who are terrorizing innocent people in this country. But my brothers and sisters, while you ponder on that, I want you to ponder on the work that we all need to do to make sure that we safely bring home the elections in this country. I don't want us to be watching the television or in the polling station on election night and biting our nails thinking that, wow, we're just going to win by one seat. We can't go through a 2009 experience again, my brothers and sisters. And to avoid that, we need to continue the work. Everybody needs to get out there and touch base with everybody in the community and spread the word how great your government has performed. They love to say, what you do? What do UPP do? And then when you start to reel off, they say, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about this. They ask, what you do? When you start telling them the thousands and thousands of scholarships that young people get in this country. When I go into rural east and say, look man, let me tell you something. A brother from the constituency did not even have enough money to buy a suitcase and buy some clothes to go away. And we were able to help him. And he got a scholarship from this government and is now further afield qualifying himself. A poor, humble man from rural east. And that is what this government has done. And we will continue to uplift poor, ordinary people in this country. And that is why I'm proud. I am immensely proud in respect to that social program that we have in this country. And when they say, where the money gone? We say, ask all them 10,000 public servants in this country. Where the money gone? The back pay that you're supposed to give them since 1994. Not one dime. Not one red penny. Not a red penny to 10,000 public servants. You understand that? 10,000 public servants with all the family. And I'm seeing my favorite nurse in front here, and she is testament of how that back pay has worked under the UPP government. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, that is the government that you have. Not a government that makes promises and fail to deliver on the promises made. My brothers and sisters, we have to be serious in this country. Let us not get carried away with all of this singing and this and that and drinking rum and all these things. We got serious work to do. And the serious work is to make sure that we spread the word of what we have done in government. And I want to hear from my good friend, Eddie Hunt, in terms of the pensioners. Because I remember when I was in the Ministry of Finance, Eddie Hunt used to come and visit with me. And we used to work out, okay, we're going to increase minimum pension. Then, okay, they say, well, we raise minimum pension so high that the other pensioners in the normal work would have been in a higher bracket. But the UPP put minimum pension so high that they're arguing that other pensioners should therefore get an increase to keep the whole pension in par. We agreed. We gave another increase. Not only to the persons at the lower end, but persons high up. And recently, you would have heard the government announce that we will index pensions to the rate of inflation. So as prices go up, your pension will go up, so you will not be affected by the rise in the cost of living. So we continue to work with the Pensioners Association and all pensioners in this country. That is a caring government, my brothers and sisters. That is a government that you have to ensure continues to govern this country, because we are governing this country in your interest, in the interest of the people. And when I heard Dr. Quinley Andrew speak about the daycare or preschool and mention Simon Boulevard, man, I got goosebumps, because I'm happy that we were the first ever government preschool in the constituency of St. John's Wood East. And why I'm so proud is because we have a lot of people in the area who need that help. Single mothers who don't have the money to send their young ones to some other area in terms of preschool and daycare. And they can bring them right there to Simon Boulevard. And not only have that daycare, but the children can benefit from great tutoring from the teachers at that facility. I am proud that we led the way and we will list. And we will do so in many other areas, my brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters, I am happy to be here tonight. I know there are many other speakers coming after me. So I need to leave a little time for them to share more good news with you. But I am encouraged by the crowd that I'm seeing here down in Yorks. It is telling me that we are on the road to victory. It is telling me that victory is at hand. I am smelling victory, my brothers and sisters. And with your support, with your help, it will be UPP for a third term. A third term in office, my brothers. Until I come again, you have a good evening. Blessed love. Good evening.